So Blizzard gave me enough rune stones to get the owl, so I'm kind of pumped about that. CGB carrying again. Honestly, that one's probably Voxy. Probably Voxy for sure on that one, bro. When I erase a word with a pencil, where does it go? What the fuck? Huh? Huh? What are you yapping about? All right, chat. Let's get right into this. Okay, I don't know what this is. I haven't watched any of this, but if you guys don't know who Silvername is, he's like the most popular, I want to say, Russian Hearthstone content creator, like by a fucking mile. I couldn't even, like, no disrespect, I don't know if I can name another one. I don't know. I don't know if that's mean or not, but I don't know. I play the new peak update. Is the new peak update good? I don't know. Fucking, there's too many games, man. There's too many games. As let's see what this guy has to say. I don't know, by the way, if how this is dubbed, so don't put responsibility to me, but I want to watch it because it has so many views. Oh wait, you guys can't hear that. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, that is bright. What is this, man? Loud enough for you guys? Can you hear? Type yes or no if that was loud enough, please, before I start. Hearthstone in big 2026. Stop beating dead horse. Yo, what the fuck, man? Chill. Maybe? What do you mean maybe, man? Oh my god, you guys are so fucked. I hate all of you so much. Okay, let's get into this.
Dear friends, hello everyone. I haven't recorded a video for this channel in a very long time. Any guides or breakdowns? There was no reason for it, nor was there much desire. But the changes today, which are trending all over Twitter, Reddit, and the forums, are of course a huge disgrace.
Well, this is like weird.
Is aimed at finally getting through to the developers so they might make some mass layoffs, some staff changes, or perhaps add more staff. Because what is happening in the game is like a snowball.
Yeah, subtitles actually a call.
It's simply unstoppable, and someone...
Can I like turn off auto dub and just listen to it in is Russian, but I'll listen with the thing? Okay. No, dude, my cat keeps no. Stop going behind her. You don't need to be there. Stop. This is the culprit. Dude, every time this guy keeps going, like these freaking cats keep going behind my, then that's not my freaking, it's the one guy. Okay, here we go. Oh my god.
Это нужно кому-то останавливать. Возможно, это буду я, возможно, это будем мы с вами. Поэтому записываю видео, проинформировать вас, попробовать донести до разразработчиков их проблемы, потому что, возможно, их высший менеджмент не знает об этом.
It sounds like he's rapping at the fastest language I've ever heard in my life.
Во-вторых, они не выполняют банальную работу, за которую им платят огромные деньги, на секундочку. Это видео посмотрит очень много новичков. Хочется представиться, но перед этим скажу, что я никогда, если что...
Can you slow it down? Bro, it's not gonna be perfect. He's unfortunately well, not unfortunately. I was gonna say he's Russian, but like that's not unfortunate. It's just that's just his language.
Играю в игру с 2015
All right, if you guys don't know who Silvername is, he used to stop, dude. Chat, I'm good, guys. Listen, I gotta stop for a second. You cat, listen to me. I love you. Stop going behind the monitor. I will literally end you, buddy. I will end you. Thank you. Holy man, this guy is gonna kill. Like I'm gonna snap. He's gonna bite a wire.
Поучаствовал в огромном количестве турниров, выиграл китайский чемпионат, поиграл на чемпионате мира в BlizzCon по системе Грандмастера в 2020 году и еще множество всего. Потом забил на игру, потому что мне перестало интересно играть. Сейчас в игру вернулся. После катаклизма было все круто, но последние патчи вынуждают снова выйти с игры, как и большинство игроков. И я уверен, что большинство людей, которые посмотрят это видео, которые часто играют в игру, со многим из моих тезисов.
Hey, you guys want the Russian audio track rather than the English dub? Are you guys sure? Type yes. Type yay or nay. One for the English auto dub that sounds kind of whack and uncanny, but like, listen, I can't understand this. I need the dub. I'm so sorry. If it's cringe, I understand, but like, I can't watch this without it. It's going so fast.
And if you have anything to add, comment, or supplement, then be sure to write about it in the comment. Detailed feedback will be interesting to read. I'll definitely look through it all in a couple of days. Let's start with the fact that this is a monopolistic game. Top one in its genre, yes.
Do we agree with that fact that this is the #1 game in the genre, chat? It's the best CCG that's ever existed right now and always will be. Yes, obviously.
But the question in the video are not really about that. The video is about the balance in the game itself. Today, most games end long before you see your portrait explode, before you even have time to make a truly important decision in the game.
Do I agree with that? I don't know. I haven't played enough standard recently to say that. Maybe that's more recency bias, but I don't know if that's necessarily... Hey, buddy. Top 8. You're not... You get out of there. Causing problems. We're causing problems. We're causing problems. We're causing problems. You're gonna bite wires, and then we're gonna have a problem. And now nobody's gonna be able to watch stream. And I'm not gonna be able to pay for your food because you're biting the wires. You get what I'm saying there, buddy? You got. I know you want preps. If you want attention, you could just. Hey, hold on, Chad. Diesel, hello. Everyone say hi. Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna stop? Why does he look like that? Like he knows he's doing something wrong. What do you see out there? Oh, go. I know you see something. You saw like a bird or something. Okay, he's gonna leave me alone now. Smile. This is the worst stream I've ever done. I'm so sorry. He's gone. He's going upstairs. Okay.
You might say that your game can last 10 turns, for example, which is a lot for the current.
Let me ask you guys a question, chat. Let me ask you guys a question. How long do you think the average game of Hearthstone should last for? How many turns do you guys think the average game of Hearthstone should last for? Oh my god, there's cat hair everywhere now. He shed so much. You get some at pet stores that taste nasty, but it's safe, so you can put on the stuff that aren't supposed to go on. That's actually not a bad idea. 6 to 10? What's the average turn in Hearthstone right now? Listen, this is what I'm going to say here. Okay, I don't even have, to be honest with you, I'm sure Silvernames is going to say some great things here, but I'm just going to be completely honest. This fucking card shouldn't exist. Hold on. This card shouldn't exist. I don't think it's bad to have powerful cards in the game, but this card should not exist. This card is a mistake. Even at 6 mana, people are still gonna play it. Like, it needs to change. It needs to say like only minions or spells or something. Like, this card is absurd. Anyways.
Meta, but in fact you lose on turn 4. Those are the realities of the game. Formally, your portrait will explode on the 10th turn, but because there is a huge amount of uncontrollable RNG in the game, you essentially lose on turn 4.
Uncontrollable randomness.
Take the Hunter, for example. He plays the Shovel, he plays the Cabinet, he plays the Stretch, summons 12 mana worth of stats on turn 4, and formally your portrait will explode on turn 7, but you lost already on the 4th. I think you get the point. Let's start right away with what good balance actually is. I have highlighted 3 main points for myself and for you, as I see it. Balance is, first, when a strong deck has weaknesses. Egg Warrior immediately comes to mind as an example. Egg has a weak side in the form of the egg, which can be transformed, hexed, silenced, and so on. But at the same time, the deck is stable, very strong, and has almost no RNG. That is very important. It is one of the coolest decks currently in the game. I think many will agree with that. Again, based on the 3 points listed. The decks currently in the meta, like the...
Okay, hold on a second. Wait, hold on.
Stable, very strong, and has almost no RNG. That is very important. It is one of the coolest decks currently.
Wait, hold on a second. Coolest decks, I don't agree with. I think the idea of like there's not any randomness and you can play around it is nice. But we gotta make something very clear here, Mr. Silvername. Which I don't know if he's ever gonna watch me because I don't even think he knows I exist. But the reality is Hearthstone is designed for people to have fun first and foremost, not an intense strategy game. That's why they lean into RNG. Because people didn't want to play the same thing over and over again. You guys remember Undertaker Hunter? That shit was miserable. So having randomness in your deck isn't a bad thing. It's when the randomness that the randomness is played and decides the game most of the time. That's what it is. Hearthstone's designed to make money first and foremost. Yeah, but you can cancel that out because every other game that you've ever played is the exact same mindset, right? Like that's the common denominator between every single video game you play. The common denominator is, hey, dude, we need to make money. So you can't have that. You can't. That doesn't count. But the reality is like he is speaking purely from like it seems like he is speaking purely from a competitive standpoint. But I think that just because a deck has randomness does not mean it's bad for the game, because most people who play this game are not playing in the hyper competitive echo chamber that is Top 1000 Legend.
In the game, I think many will agree with that. Again, based on the 3 points listed. The decks currently in the meta, like DH and Rogue, have no weaknesses other than a bad draw. And a bad draw isn't really a weakness, it's just a feature of card games.
If you play Magic the Gathering Standard, he doesn't speak from a competitive standpoint. What perspective is he speaking from, though? You play Magic the Gathering, for the record, by the way, like the best decks in Standard are the hyper efficient, like they're the best decks in the game. Yo, Luis, thanks for the sub, by the way.
Second point is that a loss should feel deserved. And right now in the meta, the game basically never reaches that level. Everything revolves around who finds the necessary cards in the mulligan or simply plays the same Jades. Who wins and loses depends on who got more or less lucky. Specifically not with the draw, but with the randomness of those cards.
Your recent Classic tournament was really entertaining to watch, and the randomness there was minimal to non-existent. Okay, but what makes Classic fun is not mutually exclusive with the fact that randomness doesn't exist in it, because randomness doesn't exist in Classic. For example, Ragnaros is a very prime example of randomness in Classic. And I guarantee if you go back and watch highlights of the game, people lost. There's a classic Reynad clip of him losing to Ragnaros the Fire Lord. Also, like Knife Juggler, for example. Knife Juggler's knives early on could dictate the game right from turn 2. It's always existed. The thing is like, when you get to the point in a game like Hearthstone, where we've been in here for 14 years, the cards are going to be strong. And like the randomness that comes from those card games is obviously going to impact the game, which seems, it seems like it impacts the game much more than what it used to be. But like, I'm telling you, bro, like if you guys think Classic had no randomness, it's just a lie. It's just a lie. Like it's just straight up. If you go back and read Classic cards, there's a ton of randomness. It's just different than it is now. It's just different than what it is now. Like it's still randomness. It's just a different form of randomness. And listen, I could be wrong here, but I actually think Discover was like one of the best things they did for this game, because one of the problems Hearthstone has is, I'll lean into the Knife Juggler thing, is like Knife Juggler's randomness dictates the game based on something you can't even dictate. Like you have no agency in, right? The only agency you have is like Knife Juggler, play the minion and hope to fucking God it hits, right? Discover gives you agency and randomness, which is great. That is like the best, in my opinion, the best example of what randomness should be.
We have that shovel in the game again, for instance. With Hunter, both players equip the shovel. Both players play the stretch code. One summons a 3/12 bear, 3/12 on 4 mana, while the other summons a 4/4. And accordingly, you can't do anything. You've lost. When playing Rogue Mirror, this is the height of stupidity, the height of RNG, the height of lack of control. Both players play the 8s. One player gets a 5/5 drop.
In my like, okay, so like this card, in my opinion, is like this card sucks ass. Like, I hate this card because this is just like the Knife Juggler thing, right? Sometimes you're gonna fucking high roll and win the game because your 8 drops are so good, like he's like Silvernames saying here. But the other side is so fucking miserable that like the variance in between is so bad, bro. But like, let me put it like this, okay? If this card said discover 2 8-cost cards, they cost 1 less for each card you played for 2 mana this game, obviously the card becomes just objectively better. So you'd have to probably raise up the mana cost of the card itself, whatever. But at least the variance doesn't feel as bad from both players' perspectives. That's like why Discover is so important.
Just play the 8s. One player gets a 5/5 drop in their mulligan, while the other gets a 4/12 taunt dragon that also summons something as a death rattle, and there is nothing you can do about it. Or that 7/7 bottle maker, which turns your cards into bottles.
Dude, this card always makes me laugh. I don't know why they made
You
it.
can't even play because you can't have your monkey turned into bottles. The monkey is a whole separate story. And the third point, the most important one,
The monkey's
player
fine.
feels the impact of their decision. The player feels the impact of their decisions, whether they are bad or good. Accordingly, just like in the previous point, the share of randomness is so high that practically nothing depends on the player. One could argue about this for a long time. Let's leave the point as it is. Just as a fact, yes. Moving on, one of the biggest problems of the current game is the incredible power spike. I noted this point for a reason, because with each expansion, the power of cards grows exponentially.
Okay, but we're like in the lowest power standard I think we've had in like the last 5 years, like if that. So like this point feels pretty weird.
Let's take, say, the Cataclysm meta. In Cataclysm, everything seemed okay. There were some random cards, synergies with synergies. That's a matter of chance. Then they added Vanessa, who terrorized the whole ladder for an entire month.
Okay, Vanessa is a card that I think, again, it's like the variance problem that Jade Guardians has. Like, you either fucking nut on your opponent or you do nothing with the card. And when the entire game is dictated off that position, this card design does not feel great to play with or against. Like, this type of design where it's like dictates the game so quickly needs to be addressed. I 100% agree with that. I don't know about power creep. It's like hold on. It's like this thing, right? Like, I'm not saying Silvernames is inherently wrong or anything, but I kind of disagree with some of these takes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of disagree. But like, here's the thing. Like, you guys, any of you taken statistics before? Like, some cards are gonna be an anomaly, right? Some cards are just gonna be ass 11. Like, you're never playing this card. For example, like Toru's a great example of a card like this, right? But there's the other side of the distribution, which is like a card like Vanessa, especially at 6 mana, where like the card is so strong, it kind of just dictates the game. So when you have a card like Vanessa, this is more here. Most of the cards probably lean around here though. Like, it's not, I'm not saying like there's not a objectively just really strong cards in the game, because there are, but not every card is here. Most cards are here. There's obviously the ones to focus on, which I agree. Vanessa is not great design.
Month, and one Vanessa would win against any deck just by appearing in your hand. So we understand what a power spike is, right? Power spike is inflation, roughly speaking. For example, previously a 4-mana creature was a 4/5.
Buddy, that was 14 years ago, man.
Many played during those ancient times. I didn't bring up this specific card for nothing, because my audience knows the Yeti. For 4 mana, a 4/5 card had no effect. It had no effect. It was considered a strong card. Now in the game, we have, for example.
Okay, but like, okay, hold, pause for a second. The reason why Yeti was played was because the 4-drop slot for almost every single deck was pretty ass. So the Yeti not only fit the curve, but it was just like good stats for the cost, unironically, is like the meme I'm gonna say here. But like, literally, I'm not even trolling when I say this. The first expansion, not counting Nax, the first expansion, literally the first one, GVG. The second piloted Shredder was added to the game, Yeti was gone. No one played Yeti anymore. It was only piloted Shredder. Like, it took one expansion for this card to be gone.
Example, let's take the Shaman. We have a card for 5 mana, 5/5 stats, with a battle cry that freezes any target and draws 2 cards. And with all that energy, it costs 3 mana. And in the end, for 3 mana, we get a total card value of 9 mana that is 3 times more than what it actually costs. And that energy, it costs 3 mana. And in the end, for 3 mana, we get a total card value of 9 mana that is 3 times more than what it actually costs. And the value of your decisions, your mistakes, is approaching 0. Because if earlier you made an incorrect play, traded incorrectly somewhere, and this was for a long period in the game, up until 2018-19, didn't draw something correctly, didn't heal, didn't get extra armor, didn't draw a card, this had a very strong impact on the gameplay. Right now, your cards are so powerful that even if you make a mistake or don't draw well, you just don't care, because you have an OP card that makes up for it all. I mean, it's just
Can someone explain what he's saying? I don't understand. Is he saying because cards are so good that like it doesn't matter if you make a misplay early on. Let me read the let me read the subtitles here.
And in the end, for 3 mana, we get a total card value of 9 mana that is 3 times more than what it actually costs. And the value of your decisions, your mistakes, is approaching 0. Yeah. Because if earlier you made an incorrect play, traded incorrectly somewhere, and this was for a long period in the game, up until 2018-19, didn't draw something correctly, didn't heal, didn't get extra armor, didn't draw a card, this had a very strong impact on the gameplay. Right now, your cards are so powerful that even if you
Argument was over the top that even playing cards wrong can win you the game because they do so much. But wait, I'm so curious. But the logic doesn't make any sense because your opponent has the exact same chance of doing the exact same thing as you, so it equals out, no? Like, am I incorrect? Like, I don't understand. Like, I guess like you're not as punished for mistakes is what he's saying. But I don't even know if that's true. Like, I don't even know if that's true necessarily at all. Like, I saw it with when I did the video with Maxi when he played a game and then I played a game. Like, you could see right there, like the decision making that Maxi had versus mine, like mattered so much. Like it was actually like an insanely enlightening thing, right? And that's the biggest thing. It's like the decisions you make do still matter in the game, but this is like I think the thing is this is probably more recency bias than anything else. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's a card game. There's RNG even for draw. I mean, you can't. This is it. Let me bring up where's this diagram again? Hold on. It's the same thing with this. Okay, like it's literally the exact same thing with this. This is card games 101. If you've taken statistics, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you're gonna most of your games for card draw is gonna be here, right? An average game where you draw cards and you draw the cards you want, or you draw like a decent curve, etc., etc. You're gonna have some games where you just get fucked because your hand's ass, or you don't draw anything, or whatever. But you're gonna have the other games where it's like you draw perfectly and your hand's amazing, and like you're gonna win the game because you just drew everything you needed, and RNG is so good for you, right? But most of the time it's here. So like the logic of like making mistakes, maybe I'm just misinterpreting what he's saying. I'm not trying to say he's wrong, but
make a mistake or don't draw well, you just don't care because you have an OP card that makes up for it all. I mean, it's just unreasonable. The takeaway from all of this is that the
skill really matter when your deck revolves around two mana shitters to buff your power call and one on turn 6. Okay, but if the conversation is that Hearthstone has changed from that position, I disagree with it. Because once again, like if we go back literally to the first to literally the classic, okay, let's put it like this, okay, put it the classic. If you're a control warrior and you're going up against a Zoo Warlock, which is one of the most common matchups in the game, and you had Fiery War Axe on turn 2 versus if you didn't, the game was like decided right there. Like that's the game. Like it mattered so much for you to have the Fiery War Axe that you could make the case that like on turn 2, because you didn't have the weapon, the game was over. Like that argument is like not great, just because of the fact that it's been here since the beginning of the game. It's always been here, guys. It's always been here. People are so salty for that 14 years down the road. It's still the same thing, man. Hey, stop going behind the monitor, man. No. You're so bad. Stop. Obviously, the classic tournament you hosted, how much players play differently, and we have much understanding of the game overall. No, that's fair. But what I'm saying is like, if the argument is that power creep has changed the game to the point where it's like one card dictates the outcome of the game, like it has been here. Dude, I'm gonna kill this cat. Stop it. You're being an idiot. Oh. Okay, hold on. Sorry. You're sitting here. You're not leaving. You're stuck here now. Okay? You're stuck here. I am trying to have a very good conversation with my chatters, and you're ruining the experience. Okay? I don't know what you want. The opponent having the same OP cards doesn't equal out. There's no guarantee you could play them in the same turn. If you don't play them the same turn, usually the last person to play the OP card wins. Take Rag as an example. If you play Rag and then I play mine, only my Rag gets to answer yours. Yeah, but that you have, okay, like that logic doesn't make sense either, bro. Because if I'm if your argument is the person that plays last, the Rag last, it wins the game, I'm not playing my Rag until I see your Rag. Like the agency there is not playing Rag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we yapping about here? Like, you have the decisions. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you are playing the same deck as your opponent, obviously variance matters because of the way you draw cards. But
cost of your decisions, even mistakes, is close to 0. Well, that makes sense. The second main problem I've identified is a direct consequence of the first one, and it's that the value of your decisions is trending towards 0. Well, I've already indirectly explained why that is. Let me read what I wrote in my rough draft. With a little side note, before I left the ladder back in 2020, the situation was like this. Even with the strongest deck and back...
You completely fumble the early game and hit Jades and still win by a landslide. Again, like I said before, it's because people, I guarantee people are coming in and without hearing the whole conversation, right? There are cards in this game that are on this side of the distribution that are so strong that if you draw them your chance of winning go up quite a bit. But I do think Jade Guardians and a card like Confront the Tolvir and a card like Vanessa that was nerfed is not great design. It's not great design. I agree with that for sure.
Then the strong decks were face decks. Face Hunter was always strong, but more on that later. They were often face decks. The Hati, you had to manage your resources and they were limited. As a player, you had to think about how to use and allocate them. And for examples, I immediately brought up the old ones that came to mind. Breeze Mage, Miracle Rogue, Control Warrior, Malagos Warrior, Handlock, and so on. All those decks had limited resources, minimal RNG, and a minimal number of randomly generated cards. And you had to count and think about what to do. At least a little bit, right?
I mean, this is purely like just a different game design philosophy now. Like we saw when I hosted this classic tournament, it's just not the same game anymore. Hearthstone went from like resource management and value, even with discovering cards, because discovering cards used to be at a tempo loss, to where it is now by basically just always having cards in your hand and always doing something. So the game is just completely different than what it was back in the day where Malagos Warlock was playable.
The game didn't become super hard because of it, but you had to
that's
do
fair. That's fair.
something, and your decisions actually.
I do think like I say this a lot where it's like pre Demon Hunter and post Demon Hunter, and one of the reasons I really don't like Demon Hunter as a class is because Demon Hunter forced the rest of the classes to expedite or to get better draw and better cards. Because once Demon Hunter was added to the game, Demon Hunter brought a level of draw and damage we've never seen before in this game. So that either they released Demon Hunter in such a state that basically every class had to come up to match Demon Hunter's level. But like that's the change of design philosophy after Demon Hunter came out.
Mattered. Your decisions influenced your win rate, your wins or losses, just like in any normal game. Now we've reached the point where the game practically plays itself, generating everything randomly for you. And it's just like being in a casino. I mean, we're playing a CCG, but it's effectively turned into a casino where nothing depends on you. And, well, that's it. That's the end of it. We're playing in a casino. Many decks now just follow the same pattern, hoping you'll draw a few key cards and get lucky with a massive amount of RNG. If you don't get lucky, you play without any real resource management or strategic thinking. I already gave the example of rogues, or maybe that was in the previous recording. I don't know if this is the third time I'm re-recording because I spent too long analyzing and talking before. I'm trying to tell you everything very quickly here, so this doesn't turn into an hour-long video. 9 minutes, I think. Teams I'm managing. You play the board. Whoever gets the better 8 drops wins. Whoever gets
This card's stupid.
the better demons wins. Yes, on the 8. In the arena, for example, there's a 1-drop and a 2-drop demon. One, for instance, at 2 mana is a 1/1 and a 2/4. And actually, it's clear there's a cosmic difference between a 1/1 and a 2/4. If at 1 mana there's a 3/2 demon and a 2/1, that's kind of a polar difference.
What?
It's at 2 mana, it's a 1/1 and a 2/4. And actually, it's cleared as a
Yeah, but they're two different mana costs.
cosmic difference between a 1/1 and a 2/4. If at 1 mana there's a 3/2 demon and a 2/1, that's kind of a polar difference because the 2/1 has a death rattle for 2 damage, but at 2 mana, a
Whereas Rags was not about one player having advantage over the other. It was merely an example that some OP cards have different optimal decisions depending on their RNG factors, such as the most basic turn order. So having the same OP cards is not equal to having the same chance. Yeah, but you can't. Hearthstone. Oh my god. Okay, that is the way Hearthstone's designed. Like Hearthstone, the person going first has an advantage if that's what you're saying. Like that's always the case with Hearthstone. Like the person going first not usually 99% of the time has a better chance of winning the game because they get to dictate the pace of the game, right? And that has also been just like that in normal Hearthstone. You did like in Classic, sorry.
1/1 versus a 2/4 is super significant. At 3 mana, there's a 2/2 and a 5/6. At the same time, DH summoning demons is the strongest archetype in the game, but its power is balanced by battle cries that have.
It's not Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't one shot in this game at turn 1. Wait, is that a response to what I said or what they said?
Take Jace or similar. For instance, a 5/7 with Rush for 5 mana, but it discards 2 cards. That's a very strong negative effect, but the card is very powerful. But DH summons cards for 1 mana that scale infinitely with mana cost.
I mean, this is like an older deck, right? So
hold on, you'll burn your whole hand. The game is independent of the matchup. Conclusion from the second point. The influence of your skill decreases when every game is independent of the matchup. Obviously, there was a take. I didn't mention that with all the top decks lately, you play the same pattern almost regardless of the matchup. Yes, on that same Pet Hunter, you could just play your 20 mana on turn 7, summoning Tortolin plus Omu. I mean, there's just nothing you can do about that. How can you beat a Tortolin plus Omu? Or 2 Tortolins on...
What?
turn 7. It's just technically impossible in any way.
Yeah, but like, bro,
and you lose to Rogue just throwing...
Hold on. Okay, hold on. You're going against a deck that scales throughout the game, right? At some point in time, the game is going to become unlosable for you. Like, if you're playing an aggro deck and they got to play Tortola, like, you probably lost that game before even the Tortola came down. It's a good point, Rarran. How much skill deciding who plays the big tournaments? Well, I don't know. Like, I remember Classic, okay? Classic sometimes just came down to where your Rag hit. Sometimes Classic came down to where your Sylvanas hit or how your Brawl did, right? The thing about card games in general is card games, you can't take a small sample size and see like this is the result. Okay, like if we played 5 games of Hearthstone and then you came up to, this is why I don't like to do viewer like battles or anything like that, because this is a good example. Okay, if you're playing Hearthstone and it's 5 games and you go to your sample size and say this is now fact because of the 5 games I just played, that you can't do that. Hearthstone is a game that has played over thousands and thousands of games to actually get real data that you could look at and go like, oh, this card's bad, etc., etc. But also in those 5 games, which is a very small sample size, it is the way you drew cards, right? How did your RNG go, right? What did your opponent generate? How did your opponent draw, right? It's being as consistent as possible makes you good at Hearthstone, right? So in tournaments, it's real. Like you could be the best player in the world. Like in my opinion, Maxi Bond is one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. He's insane. Okay, but Maxi does not win every single tournament, right? He's a very consistent player, but he doesn't win every tournament. So it's hard to look at a tournament and be like, this is yay or nay. Like this is the outcome of this tournament, etc., etc. Your friend that back CD recently said it was the best way. Random obviously exists, but your skill as a player decides your rank on distance. It's problematic when Pavlin book gives you the perfect answers at best of 3. There's not much you could do about it without fundamentally changing the game. No, that's fair. But also, I do feel like when you play Hearthstone, you have to ask yourself, like, are you mentally okay with deal? I think if we take Hearthstone out of the equation real fast, I think Balatro is a really good example of this. Okay, if you've played Balatro, you probably know. It's a roguelike, right? So it's completely random. Like you do not know what you're going to get from the shop. You don't know what you're going to generate from random tarot cards, etc., etc. But if you understand how to skew randomness in your direction, you can make the best things happen in Balatro. And we have fundamental proof from that, which is Doc Spector. Like, if you go watch this guy play Balatro, it's like he is so fucking good at the game that he understands that randomness is a core component of it, but your skill matters so much more. The problem is, in a small sample size of Hearthstone, it's really hard to see that.
7. It's just technically impossible in any way.
I also want to say this real fast because I think it's really important. Okay, this is really important. As a player, it is extremely difficult to take responsibility for anything you do. Okay? Really, I have so much cat hair on my microphone. I'm sorry. There's just a disgusting amount of cat hair. It's pissing me off. It is really, but you can't compare Balatro to Ace S because both players play on the same seed. What do you mean? I'm comparing it in the sense that, like, randomness in Balatro, people will call Balatro random, sorry. But if you're really good at the game, you understand how to skew randomness in your direction. It's the same logic with Hearthstone, right? Like, if you listen to a pro player play the game, they'll understand that, like, oh, I have a 5% chance of winning this game, but the way that I win this game is by going for this line to generate this card that gives me the out, right? Now, objectively speaking, you could feel like, oh, that's kind of unfair to the other person if you actually end up hitting that card. But, like, as a player, to recognize that that's your win condition makes you a better player, right? That's what Hearthstone often comes down to, randomness. The problem is that it's your expectations versus what the game actually is. If you feel like randomness should not dictate the outcome of a game, Hearthstone's probably not the game for you. You should probably go play like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, to be completely honest, just go play the Yu-Gi-Oh. Right? Like, that's the game. But also, you have to understand, Hearthstone is not designed for the hyper competitive players. I'm just being honest. Hearthstone is designed for people who play this game maybe 3 times a day, like 3 games a day. Eddie, what's up, man? I think Hearthstone sucks. Me too, actually.
And you lose to Rogue just throwing 2 drops and then oranging 8 drops and so on. There are tons of such examples.
I will say, the thing with Silvername right now is a lot of this is recency bias because of the current expansion, how he feels about it, which is completely fair, right? It is a brand new expansion. And, like, he's giving feedback on the design of the game, which I think is great. I actually do agree with him on this point, though. I think Rogue has too much randomness. Like, it's actually unfun to play against because there's just so much happening. But the randomness is not that big of a deal majority of the time. It's only when cards like this exist where, like, they can completely blow out your opponent.
With the shovel in the stretch, the same thing. It's just one pattern. Nothing depends on you at all. You're just watching a slot machine. Third point. The third problem with the game is RNG. But it needs to be said right away that the problem isn't the fact of randomness itself, because randomness is something that attracts many players, and it's why people play games in principle, including HS. I play because of the randomness too, but his share in the game right now is so high that, well, it's obvious. Something needs to be done. As I already said, there's Shaman, which seems to have 30 cards in the deck. Oh, you put 30 cards in your deck, but in reality, you win with randomly generated cards because there's the quest, there's the 1-drop. Yeah, already nerfed, but that doesn't change much. And you just win with random cards on Rogue. Rogue, you have rituals, you have spells. You play against Face Hunter, you have like a 30% win rate, but you just roll heal. Or against Rogue, you roll heal. And you can never know when it will proc for you. It will either proc or it won't. I don't think most of the community enjoys playing a game that depends entirely on randomness, meaning the value of your decisions is trending towards 0. And here, as I have an example written down, yes, for the third point, before a player understood what was left in the deck and what answers were available, there was, say, Primordial Glyph with a specific pool of spell. And that was okay, since on average, you understood what you feared most. Yes, Glyph is a limited set of mage spells. You understand what they might high roll or not, but on average, it will be some spell that does something for the mage. The pool of spells. You knew that. Now some card generates a card, another generated card generated yet another card, another card. You got
but bro, like, this isn't even the worst. This isn't even close to what the worst has been, man. Bro, did you guys play during Descent of Dragons where Rogue had lackeys? Like, bro, like this is not even close to the worst RNG I've ever seen in this game, man. Like, this isn't even close.
10 cards, got 10 attack, and 1/1. You don't understand at all how you won.
Logic randomness matters only on the single player runs, but when a 1v1 on the same seed, there's no randomness in combination, only your decision matter. Star, that's actually incorrect. That is actually incorrect. If I decide to roll the judgment and it gives me a blueprint and my opponent decided not to, yeah, you can make the decision that like, oh, they didn't roll the judgment because they thought the other tarot card was better. But because the judgment gave me blueprint, then they're all of a sudden I'm in a winning position. Like randomness still exists, but it's important. Okay. I think that randomness is great for the game. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I think Hearthstone, I have so much CAD here on me, it's disgusting. I think randomness is really good for the game. Okay, I think people can make the case that if you don't like randomness, that's fine because like you want everything to be, you want to know everything in your opponent's deck, etc., etc. But for a lot of players, randomness is the most fun thing about this game, right? And that's why they printed a card like Yogg-Saron, for example. The thing is you don't want randomness to take away from what it feels like your decision making. That's the biggest thing here. Or how you played the game, or the misplays or the correct plays you ended up making, right? When randomness decides the outcome of the game, it feels horrible. It feels horrible. And which is why a card like Jade Guardians is not, in my opinion, great design. Because you don't want a card like this to just dictate the outcome of a game, right? Where the fuck is it?
And then oranging 8 drops and so on.
Like this card right here is what I think this is one of the weaker designs in Hearthstone currently. Like you don't want an entire game to come down to, because this is like your win condition in this deck, right? Other than the monkey. So if you're playing the rogue deck and you just generate 2 8 drops and they both suck, then like your chance of winning go down so much, which feels bad as you playing it, but it feels good for your opponent because you obviously didn't get really good stuff. But like that variance it's either all or nothing. And it feels really, really bad. I'm not a huge fan of it. I actually legitimately think they can fix this card by putting Discover on it and making it cost more mana.
Community enjoys playing a game that depends entirely on randomness, meaning the value of your decisions is trending towards 0. And here, as I have an example written down, yes, for the specific pool of spell. Now,
but I do think this take is not correct.
that was okay, since on average, you understood what you feared most. Yes, Glyph is a limited set of mage spells.
There are more mage. I think at the time Glyph was printed, there is probably like more mage spells in the game than random 8 drops from the rogue card.
Understand what they might high roll or not, but on average it will be some spell that does something for the mage pool of spells. You knew that. Now some card generates a card, another generated card generated yet another card, another card. You got 10 cards, you got 10 attack, and 1.
Also, we used to live in a world where a card that discovered could discover itself.
1. You don't understand at all how you won or lost. Or like with Shaman, right? Or on Rogue, you did a ritual, got a spell, from that spell got another card, that card is discounted, buffed, and so on. If with the Darkest Hour mechanic you at least took your card from the deck, buffed it, and understood the range of buffs that could be a high roll or not, now you just generate 1,000 cards out of thin air, like your opponent, and just play a casino.
Wait, what?
At least took your card from the deck, buffed it, so on. If with the Darkest Hour mechanic you at least took your card from the deck, buffed it, and understood the range of buffs.
Oh, he's saying he doesn't like it's randomly generated?
Now you just generate 1,000 cards out of thin air, like your opponent, and just play a casino.
I actually really, okay, is this a wrong take to say? I actually think Dark Gifts are a really good mechanic. I think Dark Gifts are so fun to play with. I think it's such an interesting mechanic. I think they're great. I think they're like by far one of the most interesting things we've had in the game. They're fun to play with. Another take, we need a different amount of randomness available so everyone can pick the game and mode for their niche. HS is just the king of randomness on card games, which is fine. No, I feel like dude, they can't. No. Hold on. I feel like that take's incorrect, bro. I feel like that's so wrong. Dude, like the game, realistically, it should just be like this, okay? If you want to play standard and you don't like the current metagame, right? Just play a different mode of the game, or come back when you think you're going to enjoy standard again, right? Above all else, right? And this is going to be a shocker to a lot of you guys, is video games are supposed to be fun. Like you're playing a game to have fun. Like you're trying to, you want to enjoy yourself, right? You have infinite possibilities in your life. You don't have to play Hearthstone. So if you're not enjoying something, take a break, come back when you think the game's going to be more enjoyable. Right? Like that's the logic I think a lot of people will have. But a lot of you guys seem like you just want to win the fucking game, bro. You be like getting over it. Come on, man. Random doesn't matter if each card you generate is the best card. That's why a pool of randomness in each meta should be designed not just as an aspect to ignore. I disagree. I disagree with that take. I disagree with that take. Guys, RNG, like, listen, you and your opponent have the same chance of generating a card. If you guys both play the same deck, you both have an equal chance of generating it, okay? Now, unfortunately, just due to how statistics work, you're not, one of you is going to win, the other person's going to lose. That's games. That's the nature of card games. It's the same thing with draw, right? If you're playing the exact same deck and you're drawing cards one at a time, one person's going to draw better. That's the nature of a game. That's the nature of Hearthstone, right? But you can't look at the individual game. You have to look at multiple games over the course of 100 to give yourself an understanding of, like, do you deserve to win more often than not? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Give us another dungeon run. I 100% agree. That's why he calls it a casino. Again, you're not listening to what I'm saying. This card right here, this Jade Guardian Ass card, I 100% agree is a design mistake. I think it, where is this card? I lost it. You guys know which card I'm talking about. I think it's a design mistake. I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But the reality is, man, is randomness has existed in this game throughout its entire time. And if you think that this is the most random Hearthstone has ever been, I don't agree with you whatsoever. It is not the case. It is not the case. There has been so much more randomness, bro. I will just remember playing in Descent of Dragons, where my rogue opponent would discover an ethereal lackey. The ethereal lackey would generate a random ass card that generates another card that generates another card and generates another card and generates another card. Like, it's stuff like that. The problem with Jade Guardians is that's like your win condition of your deck. So if everything you play comes down to that one card randomly generating a card that you actually need to win, then it feels fucking atrocious. Atrocious. But above all else, guys, this is what I mean. This is what I'm going to come down to, okay? Is if you're not having fun with Hearthstone, don't play it.
You knew that. Now some card generates a card, another generated card generated yet another card, another card. You got 10 cards, you got 10 attack, and one. You don't understand at all how you won or lost. Or like with Shaman, right? Or on Rogue, you did a ritual, got a spell. From that spell, got another card. That card is discounted, buffed, and so on. If with the Darkest Hour mechanic, you at least took your card from the deck, buffed it, and understood the range of buffs that could be a high roll or not, now you just generate 1,000
Okay, we're back
cards
where we were. I was forgot where we were.
like your opponent, and just play a casino.
It's not easy. It is not easy, man. Hey, like, legitimately, it's not like Blizzard has a fucking gun to your head doing, like, play my game now, you idiots. Right? Like, legitimately, if you feel like Hearthstone's too random and you don't want to have fun, you're not having fun with the game, like me, like, I have a different perspective than you guys because a lot of my income comes to me playing this game. Like, I have a different take. Please fucking help me. Please watch the variety content. Please, I beg you. Please just watch anything other than Hearthstone content. Thank you so much. Where you guys don't have the same, I'm not gonna call it a problem because I'm very lucky to be in the position I am, but you know what I mean. Like, a lot of you guys have the luxury of just not playing the game. So if you're not if you're not enjoying the Hearthstone, just do something else and come back when the game is fun for you guys, or play it less, or whatever that may happen to be. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just not having fun, there's nothing better you can do than taking a step back.
That the randomness.
Bots are not playing. Davidus, I will say this. I 100% agree with you. This is by far, I think, the lowest viewership I've ever seen in Hearthstone ever. Like, over the course of the game, I think it's even worse than Stormwind currently. That's where I think we're at currently. Because at least with Stormwind, I could sit here and complain. But I think right now, it might be a mixture of, like, the fact that, like, it's summertime and people are doing other stuff, et cetera, but it's not great currently. But I also feel like the other problem with Hearthstone right now is the way that they took away mini sets and they gave those class sets, and I actually think the class sets were a huge detriment to the game. But that's a different conversation.
And add variety to the game, not just replace the match or strategy. And that is the main message of the third point. And the fourth point, it covers all three mentioned before, that normal nerfs like before won't help and aren't helping. And the main example, Blizzard has been and continues to make +1, -1 changes for those who aren't familiar. Usually Blizzard, if they decide to nerf a card, they kill it completely and that card is never played again. or they just tweak already very strong cards with +1 stat, -1 stat, which doesn't affect anything at all. And a week later, the same overpowered card reappears.
In Stormwind, there was more classes than now. Okay, so the problem was... Okay, guys, hold on a second. Let's not say Stormwind was better what it is, okay? Stormwind sucked ass, okay? The hyper-competitive players are going to sit here and tell me that they love Stormwind because it was fun and their decision mattered so much, etc., etc., okay? The problem with Stormwind is the average Hearthstone player, who is the mass majority of the player base, did not fucking like Stormwind. Stormwind sucked. For most people, it was a horrible expansion. It was a horrible expansion because they took away the fundamental aspect of the game, which is interacting with your opponent, right? The only decisions that really mattered were like Cult Neophyte, which was fucking atrocious. It was horrible to play. This is like maybe the other side of the coin. I don't know. But man, like, don't bring up Stormwind. You're a pretty healthy person. Would you agree with SN? If you felt like punching your chair occasionally after getting wrecked by RNG, thankfully that's not the case. Wait, what do you mean by with SN? I'm not, this may come as a shock to you guys because based on how I interact with like games and stuff and on stream, but I'm actually not a very angry person when I play games. Like again, like I played League of Legends for a majority of my life and I've never been banned. I've never been like really that frustrated. Like I only get frustrated when my teammate isn't trying. Like that's when I get mad because it's out of my control. Like I'm actually a very calm human being. Hearthstone's the same thing for me. It's like if I get fucked by RNG, I just close the game and I move on. Like that's what it is. Like if I play a game off stream and I feel like I didn't have fun, I'm not queuing up again. I am adult enough to understand that like, hey, I spent 5 minutes. I didn't have a great time playing the game. I'm gonna move on. Is that crazy? Just stop playing!
Different wrapper. The problem here isn't how they change things by +1 or -1, but specifically the system and the approach. And a very good, easy to understand example came to mind. It's about the foundation. Imagine you have a house, you want to build a house, you need a foundation, and you choose a crooked foundation and build a beautiful house on it.
The AI generated photo.
House is beautiful. Everything is neat.
Or is that AI generated? I don't know.
Crooked and your house falls down. You see, and your house falls down. It's the same here. The problem is exactly the structure and the system, the way they approach it. They have made a huge number of mistakes over these many years. They have added a lot of overpowered mechanics. They haven't balanced any of it, and consequently, this incompetence has grown to such a scale that the game has simply turned into a casino.
Okay, I can't. I feel like this take is so incorrect. It's crazy. Like this is 100% recency bias, bro. 100%. 100%, which is fair. Again, I'm not blaming him for being mad about the current expansion. I get it. But bro, like over the last couple of years, Hearthstone's done some great things as well. It's not like it's only been ass. Like I swear, bro, like we can't just sit here and pretend that like they didn't do anything good. Now that being said, bro, I'm telling you, there is so much Hearthstone. If I was the head of Hearthstone, I would do way more shit. Let me explain, okay? First and foremost, update the fucking core set every expansion for goddamn sakes, Blizzard, okay? We have so much ass in the core set that literally does nothing, and the only time you see it is when you randomly generate these cards. Use the core set to make the game in a better state. There are like 5 classes in this game that are currently unplayable. Just give them some cards that do anything. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Second of all, I think, and this is my opinion, they should update, they should buff, and they should nerf cards more frequently. That's my opinion. You know what the problem with Hearthstone is? Hearthstone is a game that takes too long to patch because the metagame gets stale and then people start complaining. You know what's fun? Is when you lose to something else. I don't care if I lost to Rogue. I care if I lose to Rogue the same way 20 times. If I lost to Rogue 20 different ways, I would not care nearly as much. Please update the game more frequently. I know that sounds crazy, but bro, like I'm telling you, if you guys just made more aggressive like here's the take. You know the Demon Hunter change they made that last patch, not this previous patch where like they nerfed it. Them buffing up that class was awesome because it was like, here's a brand new way to lose. Right? Like that's awesome. Like, I love that. And then here's what happened. It was a little too strong. 2 weeks later, you nerf it, and all of a sudden, it's a brand new metagame, boys. Amen. Like, I'm such a huge fan of just constantly changing shit up. I love it. I love it. You should play modern NTG to learn how to play real games. You are incorrect. I play real games. I play League of Legends.
Casino.
No, I don't.
You can look at the reaction to all the changes on forums, on Reddit, on any popular platform, and
Bro, we can't, Silvernames, this is the worst take you've had. I am not going on Reddit to get an opinion about a game. The only people who go on Reddit are angry at the game they are playing. They are on that site to see other people who are also angry at the game. It's like the worst way to understand the average person's feeling towards the game.
see the player outrage, including mine and my viewers, saying it's impossible to play, do something about it, but they don't hear us. That's a problem. And according, this is the
Okay, I gotta bring up the chart again because we gotta talk about this now. I'm not being a facetious or anything like that, but listen, this is Reddit right here. The smallest minority, loud minority of people yelling to the skies about how much they fucking hate this game. Okay, most people are here just playing a couple games. They're done. If they're not having fun, if they had fun, they'll play another one. It's simple. It's simple.
first reason why I am recording this video, and I really hope it reaches Blizzard somehow. I don't remember if I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I recorded a video for Battlegrounds, and in that video I spent an entire hour breaking down the card issues in Battlegrounds and hand more than 100 of them with arguments for each card, and then less than a month later an update comes out that incorporates more than half of the changes I proposed in one form or another, or even directly. I don't care about claiming it was thanks to me. Most important thing is that it happened and the game became more pleasant to play. I really hope.
That's a question. I'm not trying to flame for Silvername here because I think his opinion is valid. Like, if he doesn't think the game is fun, whatever, right? But like, if I asked Blizzard to make changes that I thought were better for the game, okay, and then they made those changes, would you guys also agree that I think the game would be more fun because they did the changes that I wanted them to make? Like, imagine imagine the changes they made that Silvername suggested, for example, for this time, I didn't like. Then I could be like, oh, I don't like the game as much because I don't like these changes. You know what I mean?
that after this video there will be some kind of reaction in terms of making the upcoming patches at least adequate and reasonable, because what happened today is just a slap in the face to all.
I should make my own video.
Players.
You're right.
I don't know, I'm just trying my best to talk about all this without swearing and without emotions, but I really want to curse and rant. Anyway, that's all just
Say a couple slurs, Silvername.
So I've told you about the foundation. And here are the ways to solve these problems, yeah. The first is to limit the generation of randomness. Not to remove randomness completely, as I've already said, there's no need for that, but to make it more predictable. I think most people here would agree that there shouldn't be this mess of an infinite amount of resources. Ideally, in my opinion, we would have cards like Glyph, where you discover a card either from your deck or from your class pool, but never where you have several classes mixing together, digging into each other's cards, generating all this, and multiplying it. It's a nightmare. The second is to reduce the number of universal and very strong cards for all classes. The first thing that comes to mind is Ziliax, yes, an inadequately strong card that is played in every deck. The same goes for Vanessa. With such a large number of strong universal class cards, the uniqueness of a class and its specific mechanics are lost.
I agree with this take. That's a good take. That's a W take. That's a W take. That's a W take. Win conditions should be mainly from the class itself rather than from the neutral pool. The reason for this is that, just as I was saying earlier, I'd rather lose to 11 different things than the same thing 11 times.
We have Priest, which is based, for example, on healing and board clear. There's Warrior, which is also based on removal, Armor Mage, based on spells, and so on. In the end, nobody cares about the classes. Everyone just...
Kind of an L take. Neutrals are free-to-play friendly. Okay, Kretz, listen here, brother. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Dude, this game is so free-to-play friendly, it's fucking crazy. Okay, it's crazy. Okay, it is the nuts how free-to-play friendly this game is. You cannot expect, as someone who does not play every single card, does not pay money, to have every single card. That is ridiculous. That is a crazy mindset to have. But they give you a lot of resources. And don't act like I don't know this, because I did a free-to-play fucking account earlier this year. And it was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like, it was so good. I'm not saying no neutral card can exist that is powerful. I'm saying, for the sake of class diversity and what is more fun to play against, I would much rather have to lose to different win conditions than the same one from a neutral pool.
Plays OP neutrals on those classes that allow you to play these neutrals the fastest. And the third, and this is probably the main point and message of this video, is to do more hot fixes based on statistics.
Yes! That's what I'm saying, Silvernames!
And the opinions of normal, adequate, competent players or streamers, although many combine this, yes, well, player, streamer. Many top players are streamers, including me, by the way. Yes. Take the latest change to the Piranha. Piranha is that 3-mana, 3/4 DH card, and reverting it to its original state only after 3 weeks isn't even a hot fix. This is the most important thing, because if you analyze the changes in many patches, this is where my draft continues. This is where my draft. I'll explain it in my own words. If you take a sample of 10 years of ladder changes in HS, you can conclude, even if you don't play the game much, that the people responsible for making these decisions are absolutely incompetent. Perhaps some senior Blizzard leadership, some top manager. Absolutely no idea what is actually happening in the game, because these lower ranking employees just paint a picture of good statistics, good results, good revenue, and so on. The statistics are the most manipulative thing in the world, and accordingly, they do not fully reflect the reality of what is going on. On paper,
Didn't he say earlier I was trying to say this with like no emotion or anything? That's so funny.
everything looks fine, but in reality, it's all a mess. And again, I repeat, this video is meant for the people responsible at Blizzard to hear this and carry out some, I don't know, personnel cleanup, change the management, change the game designers, because these people are not doing their job. They just draw up good reports and waste your money because you are paying them a fairly large salary and they are bullshitting you. Excuse my language. And obviously something needs to be done about this. So ideally, you should have at least one employee on staff.
The problem with his logic, unfortunately, is like, for him, it's not fun. For him, he doesn't enjoy what the game experience is. Again, like, I'm going to say something. I don't know if it's true. I don't work for Blizzard Entertainment, but God, I am praying to God that the team that works at Blizzard looks at the stats of this game, because they have more data than anybody else that is public. And they see what they're doing and why they keep doing the same thing is working, right? Maybe retention's higher than it's ever been. I don't fucking know. But I would hope it's not just like, fuck it, we got our money from the pre-purchase bundles and we move on. I want to give the Blizzard employees more credit. The thing is, we do not know how well Hearthstone is currently doing from the inside. We have no idea.
Actually plays the game. Because the people who make these changes, and again, I'm speaking from a 10-year sample size, most of the changes don't look like the person even logged.
But okay, also, I want to say this too. Okay. 10 years ago, not 10 years ago, let's start from the very beginning, right? If you were here with Ben Brode, right? This is what I mean. Like, a lot of this feels like it's recency bias. If you were here from the beginning of Hearthstone, when Ben Brode was the game director, I'm not saying he did a bad job of what he did, but dude, Ben Brode was fucking atrocious at balancing. He was horrible. So show me one guy who's enjoying this meta. Bro, it's not my job. I don't care. If you want to hate this game, stop playing. It's easy, bro. Just click the X button. Anyways, Ben Brode was absolutely horrible at balancing the game. Okay? It took us fucking months to get Undertaker nerfed. Okay? Took us months to get Undertaker. If you played during that expansion, it was, hey, dude, queue up. Oh, bring out your dead. You lost. Like, you know what I mean?
The game or understands what's happening. And for the changes that are needed here and now, like with the DH, for instance, you release a patch, class becomes too strong, okay? Just to release a hotfix in a few days and say, yeah, we messed up. No one would ask any questions, and the community would only thank you for doing your job. It was the same with Vanessa. They released
the other problem with what he is saying, and like this is maybe an issue of technical stuff, is we don't know Blizzard's infrastructure is the other problem. That's true. I have to argue other similar games have raised the bar on how often what changes. No, Dreads, like I am actually 100% agreeance that I wish they would make way more frequent changes. I am 100% for it. Here's the issue though, and this is something that people don't consider, is TFT is a game that when you play it, you're not buying any of the units. right? You don't have to craft any of the units. You just play the game, you queue up, everything's given to you other than cosmetics. So when you make micro adjustments, it doesn't affect the economy of the game for people who don't have the same amount of dust as maybe you do, right? You're hoarding 100k gold like you're from Gringotts and Harry Potter, where most people don't have that luxury. So because of that reason, if they make changes too frequently, there is a genuine problem of like how free-to-play players are going to react to these changes, right? So if I craft a brand new, like if I craft the Demon Hunter deck and, you know, I craft it because they buffed all the cards, whatever, and then they hotfix it in a week, like I can't get all my dust back from that deck. I can only get the dust back from the cards they decide to nerf because that's how Blizzard handles that situation. So because of that reason, it is a balancing act of how often they want to do nerfs and changes, because if they do it too frequently, there's an issue. Now, that being said, that's why I think the core set is so important, because they have this chance of just giving these people these like free cards without affecting what they just crafted. That's the biggest thing.
A whole month went by and everyone had to deal with the crap. After a month, they nerfed her. Well, they nerfed her so hard that she hasn't played at all, meaning they killed.
I mean, is she a 4-3? Isn't she a 4-4? I guess they nerfed her health too. What was I gonna say? I feel like, how else do you nerf Vanessa other than the mana cost though? Like, you'd have to fundamentally change the entire design of the card. Remember when they said that they would actually edit the core set throughout the year? Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey, I don't work for the company. Listen. For the record, by the way. Okay, for the record, by the way. Like, I think this is a good conversation to have, but I think it's important to like, I'm not a Blizzard defender. I want to make that very clear. I feel like Blizzard has made mistakes. Don't get it twisted. But I also feel like we don't know the entire picture. All of us who complain about this game do not understand how it works inside, or like what they are doing is actually beneficial for the game for the average person who plays it. But maybe, like, because we don't know this, maybe all that they see now is like, man, that pet's doing extremely well. Like, maybe we should lean more into the cosmetic sides of things. You know what I mean? Hear about balance issues, do wacky stuff and shake things up often, making things interesting, making it exciting. No, I agree with you. Okay, hold on a second. What if, imagine this. Okay, hold on. Now, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains here, okay? Imagine there was a mode, let's call it Shake Up, okay? And what Shake Up was like standard, maybe wild, but there's like a fun little twist to it, right? Like, you do like, I don't know, like only spells or something along those lines. And like you use that mode to have fun in a different way that's not just standard or wild, right? Like, isn't that crazy? Like, or, you know, crazy times, like you just make custom games and then the people can play the game. I don't know. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. I'm fucking up. Whatever.
Killed her. But specifically with this card, I am personally glad they did that, because the card is fundamentally broken. It generates an infinite amount of resources.
Agree.
And is impossible to predict.
You could do that too with standard balance changes. Again, the conversation is, how often do you change things without hurting? Okay, because like with each change you make, right, you're affecting the economy. Hold on, pause. Oh, damn, I thought it was my Hobbit booster box. I was really excited. Okay, each change you make that is a buff or a nerf affects the free-to-play players the most, right? It affects the most common player in your game. Okay, so you have to take it, you have to be a little bit more conservative when you do, like, you can't do too many changes, basically what I'm saying. Okay? The thing is, that's where the core set would be great. But also, like, again, like, that's why I'm so mad that Twist is gone, because Twist would have been so fucking sick to have. I would have loved to keep it around, man. Like, it actually bothers me. Regardless, we're past that point. Back to the Vanessa changes.
What will happen? You play her?
Blizzard doesn't care about free-to-play players that focus on whales. Incorrect, bro. Listen, your last 5 comments are just, you are just mad. Like, you were just mad. I haven't said it to you. You're just upset. You're just upset. Listen, that's fine. You can be upset all you want. But, like, legitimately, this is the best time to be a free-to-play player in this game. It's not even close. It's not even close. If you were playing this game during Classic and you were a free-to-play player, it was ass 11. Ass 11. It was so bad. So fucking bad. But right now, it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It is amazing. It's amazing. Okay, anyways.
Either your opponent plays 6 cards or they don't. Well, that kind of mechanic shouldn't exist. And all of this happened after a whole month, even though it's obvious to a beginner that these changes are needed in the first few days, not weeks. And fourth, make fewer power spikes. Well, I probably added this just to...
I played Classic and you're so fucking wrong, Jesus. Guys, could we all point and laugh at Drunkle Music? Because apparently he doesn't understand that the game is in a so much better free-to-play position than it's ever been in his life. Like, we're not serious, right? And the best part is he wrote Jesus after, like he was like scoffing at me, like, I can't believe you're so pathetic. You know what I mean? Like, what are we yapping about here, big dog? Like, what? Classic YouTube commenter. Classic.
To voice it, but this is already a macro task. Ensuring that future expansions don't cause such massive inflation and power gaps between cards. If we have a set meta in Cataclysm and they add a card in the next expansion like Vanessa, which just destroys everything solo, I don't think that should happen. Not right, but it's secondary at this point.
But again, the thing, okay, hold on. But the thing is, Mr. Silvername, right? Chat, what was the free card given in Timeways? What was it? It was Mr. Coxworth, right? Wasn't that the card that was given for free? Like, bro, like, not every card is like Vanessa. Not every card is like Vanessa. Like, Mr. Coxworth wasn't even played. Like, what was the free one for Cataclysm? I don't even remember what it was. Oh, it was the Blackhorn one. Blackhorn was a problem, actually. Blackhorn was crazy. Okay, you know what? I'm wrong.
The penultimate point is to create more vulnerabilities in strong decks. If you see that a meta has formed and some cards or decks are unreasonable, if you can't balance them and that happens, you need to come up with weaknesses for them. As I said, there's a problem with Warrior. Their egg can be countered, but they can play around it, though it slows them down, and they lose that crazy tempo and the egg pop on turn 6 or 7. Rogue doesn't have that problem because Rogue simultaneously plays 2-drops that are already powerful in tempo. It draws cards, cycles the deck, and discounts J in the end. For 3 mana, it puts out 16 mana worth of random 8.
I feel like I don't even think I really have to watch the rest of this video, okay? I feel like the problem I see here is just like he is not happy with the way the meta currently is, which is completely fair. I don't think that's wrong. But we have to take a step back here and just realize this is just one expansion. Like, I'm just being completely honest. Like, it's just one expansion, bro. Like, they could easily do something completely different than the next expansion. We don't even know what the next expansion is, right? It's completely fair to not have fun with it. Again, most importantly, I feel like if you're just not having fun with the game, don't play it. I think that's as easy as that. I think it's just as easy as that. I don't know what else to say, man. Like, it is what it is. Now, bring back Twist. Thank you so much. The last expansion was booty too. It might. I don't know. What was the last expansion? Love to see you make a long form video talking about HS with Alex or any other dev. Bro, I'm not the person to do it. I'm not the person to do it. You know why I'm not the person to do it? Because here's what I can already think about the comments I'm gonna get from this. You ready? Rarran's bad at the game. Why is he talking to a dev about how they should make changes? This guy doesn't even play Hearthstone. He's bald. Why is he sitting here? Who's Alex? Where's Ben Brode? When's Forsen playing? The list kind of goes on and on. The list kind of goes on and on. Hey, that's fun. That was fun. Valid questions, by the way. If a person doesn't want to join 2 to 3 games a day, but wants to play the whole day, and they don't want to leave the game if there's such problems in it. If a person doesn't want to join 2 to 3 games a day, but wants to play the whole day, so you're saying they don't want to only play 2 to 3 games a day, they want to play the whole day, and they don't want to leave the game if there's such problems in it. I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand. I don't understand what that means. But can someone help me out? I will say I think Hearthstone would benefit a lot from a content creator interviewing a dev. It would great in the WoW for raid. No, but the thing is, guys, is like the vocal minority of people who watch YouTube. Like, hold on. This is the Hearthstone pie. Okay. Okay, this is, I'm gonna take a guess here. Like, this is the size of people who watch YouTube or some shit. Like, it is such a small piece of the puzzle that I don't think it's even relevant. Right? I just, sorry, what part? Hold on, this part. Like, ask yourself this question, okay? Ask yourself this question. Yo, Bush, thanks for subbing on YouTube, bro. I see you, bro. I see you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We need a Sunken City rerun. What about Twist coming back? Okay, hold on. Ask yourself this question. How many of you guys, out of 100%, what percentage of people do you think reads patch notes for Hearthstone? If I had to guess, it's probably 5%. I would say 5%. I've watched Zeddy. Does that count? I mean, maybe a little bit. Yeah, sure. I think it's around 5%. If I had to guess, okay, I think it's around 5%. But we obviously don't know that. But what I'm saying is, like, if I think it's 5%, right? The amount of people who watch YouTube can't be that far off from it. Right? It can't be that far off. Like, maybe it's like from the 100% of the player base, maybe like 10% of people watches YouTube comment or YouTube videos or whatever, right? So the people who are like go on Reddit or mad or whatever on Twitch, like most of you guys are not, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, you guys are not normal human beings. Right? If you're in this chat right now, first and foremost, you're watching me. Second of all, most people who play this game don't watch streams. Sound like you're the only one who understands that Reddit and YouTube is not the majority for games like this. Well, the thing is like people think that they're the center, they're the main character of everything, right? Like it is, I think it's important to take a step back and actually understand that like some things they're not making it for you. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like they're not making this game for you. They're making this game for like casuals. They're making this game for just maybe for a completely different audience. Average age of the players still take whatever, so maybe they should account for us then. But you like again, if imagine, let's just take this for like imagine this is you guys, right? This small little piece of the pie, okay? The rest of this is just the average casual person. Look at the difference, right? Look at this. Hold on. You know what's happening here, big dog? Look at the pie, bro. And if I'm a businessman, right? If I'm the business owner of Hearthstone, and I say to myself, okay, what's the opportunity cost of focusing on the 10% of people who will go on Reddit and or YouTube and are yelling at me? It's not even close, bro, to the percentage of the casual Andes who are just chilling. You know what I mean? Think about how many people care only about BGs. That's also true. BGs is probably a huge. Actually, people think they usually think they are the average. So the small group of people who engage with the game, that's fair. But people, I'm telling you this right now, the people who go on Reddit, people who are complaining about this game, people who are on YouTube watching Hearthstone are not the majority. You're a minority, guys. You're a minority. Don't forget China as well. I imagine they lack a content scene. I mean, that's kind of irrelevant for me though, no? So yeah, same with MTG and Universes Beyond. Exactly. Most people who like Universe Beyond and Magic the Gathering are not on Reddit complaining about it. You know what I mean? So it's from a business perspective, it makes way more sense to focus on the vast majority of casuals who are playing this game and like maybe they're just having a lot of fun with it, right? But I want to take this all with a grain of salt, okay? Like, I don't think every decision that Blizzard is making is correct. I also want to say that like I would do things slightly different. I'm not going to lie to you, but I can't blame them for making the decision that best interests the money. Like, especially when we're talking about millions of dollars here, right? They're a business first and foremost. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You guys, of course you can. Pure business perspective has never created a good game in history. I mean, that's actually a correct take. Brother, can we move on to something a little bit different here real fast? Chat, why the fuck is Netflix getting exclusive trailer to Grand Theft Auto 6? What is happening? Why? What is that? Bro, like, what are we doing? How much money did they spend on that? Bro, my Netflix subscription is going up like $1 a day, and those fucking bastards are buying the trailer from Rockstar? Bro, they can't even like their own movies, man. Like, the movies look like absolute dog shit. Oh my God, I was mauling yesterday fucking reading that. I couldn't believe what I was reading, dude. Oh my God, if they don't post that, dude, I swear to God, listen to me. If any one of you motherfuckers decides to buy a Netflix subscription just to see the Grand Theft 6 trailer, get help. Please. Please. Get help. All right, anyways, what's up with you guys? I wasn't gonna stream today. I was doing other stuff today. But what's up with you guys? Who buys subscriptions to watch ads? See, that's the thing, right? In Netflix, okay, so why do you think Netflix bought the trailer? You think Netflix bought the trailer just so they could host it? No, bro. They are hoping to get people to buy subscriptions to get to watch GTA 6 first and foremost, so they could be in the exclusive clubs that they were there to watch the extended look. We don't even know, bro. This is actually, you know what's even crazier? This is a better take. This actually summarizes the entire Hearthstone thing. Okay, guys, did you know that Grand Theft Auto 6 is the most successful game of all time currently, and they haven't even showed a single frame of gameplay? We haven't seen gameplay yet, and it's already the most successful game of all time. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? But on top of that, right, if you go online, like, we've had this conversation before, right, where it's like, some of you guys don't even think that Grand Theft Auto is going to be fun, or you're not interested whatsoever. Dude, that is the difference between you as a human. I'm excited for Grand Theft Auto 6, to be fair, but that is the difference between the vocal minority yelling that this game's going to be poo versus the casual Andy who does not give a fuck and is just excited. You know what I mean? Like, holy man. Now, that being said, I will be playing it because I'm actually extremely excited for it. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Holy. So you're saying that if 10% of players are playing this game and understand the problems, they shouldn't be listened to because the big fish bring in money, so it doesn't matter to anyone? For the record, I am not saying that should be how it's done, but I'm saying that I understand why a business would not focus on the 10% versus the 90%. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's not, I don't think that's a crazy take whatsoever. I think if you guys were making a business and someone's like, hey man, you could have $10 million or you can have $90 million. You'd be like, give me the 90. Like, that's life. Like, that's just life. Have you seen the Odyssey? I did. I loved it. Seen the Odyssey? We have a bad take on it. I thought the Odyssey was great. No problems. The more I sit with it, the more I like it. I didn't see it in 70mm, but I did see it in IMAX. It was good. You're exaggerating the majority. I don't think the majority of players never read Reddit, never post in forums, never watch streams, never comment, and just silently play the game. But you have no proof against me, right? Like, it's your word against mine. But I'm saying this as somebody who like built apps before. And like YouTuber is a great example. Like, technically speaking, right? Let's just say if every single Hearthstone player watched my YouTube videos, I would have so much more viewership. I'd be in my mansion. I'd be chilling with Bobby Kotick on his yacht. Like, I'd be chilling, right? But you could go look at my YouTube viewership and see, like, I'm not hitting nearly how many players play this game. It's not even close. And I feel like less people go on Reddit than watch YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? That's the take. That's the take. Hold on, I gotta take the sweater off in front of me. I thought the principle you're talking about left HS, and I decided to go with something that seemed interesting to me. Marvel Snap. Yeah, it's not the best game at first, but it was great, bro. Marvel Snap was great. I haven't played. Anyone still play Marvel Snap? Your non-HS viewers is so much lower. I mean, but that makes sense, right? Like we could use the exact same logic as what I was talking about before, right? If this is my Hearthstone audience, which is the majority of the people who watch me, right? The subsection of people who watch the variety stuff is like maybe like here. All right, I'll give it that. So like it makes sense that the average video does worse. Can we please move on to what? To what? Hey, thanks for watching it, bro. I appreciate it. I was editing the video of getting over it. Okay. Anyways, chat. Did you play Perks game? I did not. I told him it's probably it's gonna take too long, I think, most of the time. Yo, Apex, thanks for watching, dude. This is so you can get your mansion. There's people who watch the variety stuff and don't give a fuck about Hearthstone. That's also true, right? That's also true. You ever thought about collabing with Shady or another BG creator? I collab with G before. And RDU. I have BG videos on the channel. All right, chat. What do you guys want to do? I probably wasn't gonna I'm really fucking hoping that I wanted to open my collector booster box on stream today for The Hobbit. I was like really excited to do it. They told me it was gonna be here today, but it's still not here. I'll give you guys some options. Okay. I'll give you guys some options. Tomorrow, okay, hold on. Actually, before we get to gameplay, before we get to do anything, for the quick little yap here, okay? Tomorrow, I think I'm gonna stream like another game that like of you know, can I beat it faster than the average person? What game do you guys think would be great for that? I was thinking Plants vs. Zombies, but I would like to hear more thoughts. Because I think Plants vs. Zombies would be good. So I've already beaten only up. Jesus, I couldn't speak there. Getting over it. Getting over it is so funny. I could do Enter the Gungeon. I have like barely played it. Actually have it. I put 2 hours in it. I think I got 1 achievement once the tutorial. Does that still count? Does Plants vs. Zombie take the same time to clear no matter what you do? I feel like you could lose the run, can't you? Can't you? I don't know. Have you played Noida? No, but like apparently, dude, I looked at how long it would take me to beat Noida. It's like 15 hours to 90, bro. You lose a level, you just go again. Yeah, exactly. It's an hour tops to finish it. I disagree. There's no way. Have you played Brotato? I have not. Is Brotato goated? I heard about this game actually quite a bit. How long would it take to beat Brotato? A run on Brotato. To win your first run, it takes about 5 to 7 hours. Wait, seriously? Wait, it can't be that hard. Huh. I think this might be it. I think this might be the play. We'll add it to the cart. Figure it out. Fark, I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. He's gonna do Danger Zero and call it there. Classic. Wait, really? Wait, is there different levels? Yeah, I've never played the game. I don't know what it's like. Okay, would you guys rather have Brotato or Plants vs. Zombies? I think Plants vs. Zombies would go crazy though. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, what edition would I buy, Chad? Just for the record, what the frick is Battle for Neighborville? Replanted sucks ass. Don't play that one. So like game of the year? Noina edition. Okay, hold on. Let me see how long this will take. Hold on. How long will it take to beat Plants vs. Zombie? 5.5 hours. That's what it says. No, the main story is 8 hours. We can do that tomorrow. The result of reviewing the current state of HS led to Brotato. Yes, you got a problem with that, mister? All right, do you guys want to see... okay, we'll figure this out tomorrow. I think I might do Plants vs. Zombies. I think that'd be fun. I'll think about it, though. Plants vs. Zombies, I think, would be a really good game because there's like a ton of... it's like a pretty... I've never actually played it. I already own this game? Wait, what? Do I actually own the game? Oh my god, I do. I played for 24 minutes. In 2012. Holy shit. I played it in 2012. I don't even remember. I must have been... Guys, I'm going to say something. Hold on. In 2012, I turned 30 this year, so I was 15. I was 15 when I did this. I was 15 years old when I played this shit. Somewhere around there. 15, 16. The maths, right? Wait. Play 24 minutes and went straight back to COD. I can tell you what happened. 2012, I can already picture it. Ready? Okay, let me lock in. I was like, oh, I'm going to play a different game. Just kidding. Right back to League of Legends. Right back to League of Legends. Right where I started. Okay, would you guys rather have... I'll give you guys two options because I'm probably not going to stream very long today. Because I already recorded a video off stream. That's my daily quota. Would you guys rather have me try the rest of Getting Over It and see if I can beat it? Or would you guys rather have like what's the mode? Dalaran Heist. All right, we'll do Getting Over It. Okay, YouTube, if you want to watch Getting Over It, please come over to Twitch. Because I don't want people to come into the stream and be like, oh my god, this isn't Hearthstone. Like I can't deal with that. I can't, especially during this game. So if you're on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, boys. If not, I'll see you guys on the old Twitch.